My name is Peter Seymour. I'm the Director of Hotels and Leisure for Graham and Sibbald, covering the whole of Scotland.
Thank you very much. And why did you choose University of Aberdeen for your degree?
Um, my sister attended the university some 7 years before me, and I had a lot of fun visiting her. It was my second choice, to be honest, but
Mhm.
don't regret it for a minute.
Thank you. And why did you choose to study particularly engineering for your bachelor's degree?
At the time, I was going to join the army and I wanted a good degree to fall back on. I was entering the Royal Engineers, and so I felt engineering was a good cross degree, both in terms of a good fallback, but also something that would help me with my army career.
That's very interesting. Thank you. And what, apart from studying, yes, what were some of your favorite memories from Aberdeen, like social life?
Oh, yeah, the social life is phenomenal. I had a wonderful central located flat on University Road. So we were a regular stop off for friends, and yeah, it was a good party flat next to the Bobbin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that played rugby, OTC. So yeah, had a very varied and excellent extracurricular activities going on during my time there.
That's very interesting. And why did you decide to study at Heriot Watt for your master's degree? Why did you make this decision?
Uh, that was predominantly just around the subject that I was studying, as well as I had a look at them and Napier University, and
Mm.
I felt that Heriot Watt was by far more in tune with the working the experience that I've had in the property industry at the time.
Interesting. And you mentioned that you played rugby and other like societies and student organizations. What are some lessons you took from being part of like student teams?
Oh, just to get involved. I mean, you make some of the best friends of your life at university. I'm still in touch with a few of the Sevens team that we created during our time there, and I see them, 2 or 3 times a year, and we're all good friends. So it's just having an open mind and getting involved and not uh, taking the opportunities that are presented with you.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you. And when you studied your bachelor's degree, did you only think about the joining army, or did you have any other like career aspirations apart from army?
No, I had no other career aspirations. I was actually a sponsored student by the British Army at the time,
Mhm.
and so I had absolutely no intention of going anywhere else. During my university career, I did actually change my mind and
Mhm.
decide not to join the army, and they were very understanding on that point. So I ended up leaving Aberdeen and working in Manchester for 6 years as a salesman and a team manager of a call center down there. So, I came out of university completely away from my degree topic,
Mhm.
but still feel the attendance and the work ethics that university teaches you was worthwhile.
Interesting. And why did you decide to go into like real estate and property business career initially, yeah,
Um,
eventually?
my father ran his own firm and was going to retire and wrap up the firm at the time. I was working as a call center manager, and I came up and tried the job. I felt it was a good combination of my managerial skills as well as my sales skills. And so took the opportunity that my father presented to me, to be honest, to come and work in property. I took over his firm 2 years after I joined him. I requalified during that period and then became a chartered surveyor. And then I sold the firm to Graham Sibbald in 2017.
No, that's very interesting. And can you tell us a little bit about your current role and what you do within the your current company,
Certainly. So
Graham Sibbald?
I'm an RICS registered valuer and agent. So that means I um, predominantly travel Scotland looking at hotels, restaurants, pubs, bars, giving pricing advice, valuation advice, either for the vendor, the owner, or the purchaser, or a bank or an institution. So we have, since I joined the firm, taken the department from headcount of two to a headcount of 8 in Scotland
Mhm.
and 13 across the UK. So we've been on a significant growth period. This financial year, I've now just taken over really as director of agency. So I'm doing less valuation work than I used to for institutional lenders, but I'm still involved in the buying and selling of hotels across the whole of Scotland.
That's very impressive. And do you apply any skills you learned from your university degrees in your current role?
Yeah, absolutely. Occasionally, have to look at the load bearing structures. Certainly, if you know when you're assessing the condition of a property, having an understanding of the engineering behind it is very helpful, especially in the construction. So yes, it has proven a good bedrock for my professional career, although I'm not religiously.
Interesting. And do you think at getting like particular real estate degree or a particular certification in order to get into the industry is very important, or you can get into like real estate from studying like business management or economics, or do you need specific degree?
Um, no, you don't have to be qualified to do what I do.
Mm.
You can buy and sell hotels without any qualifications at all. I think it does help. I think it gives you a level of professionalism that allows you to get involved in significantly bigger transactions,
Mhm.
and it also gives you a great deal of credibility with your smaller clients as well, because unlike other agents, I'm regulated. I have to adhere to a strict code of conduct.
Yeah.
I have to act with integrity. And I think from my point of view, that's always held me in great uh, position as an agent, because there are definitely some unscrupulous agents in the world, whereas I can hold my head up high that I act with honour and integrity and honesty in everything that I do. And I think that certainly the client base that I now have comes from those four values that I hold.
Interesting. Interesting. And the next question is, and how has property market changed since you joined the industry? And how do you adapt
Um,
to changes?
Yeah, certainly there's been a great deal of modernisation. When I first joined and started, we still sent out brochures through the Royal Mail. Email was done from one computer in the office. You know, we, it, yeah, we've seen a lot of significant change. I think the ability to control information, to gather data,
Mm.
to manage that data, and to be able to produce documents electronically has significantly helped. On the reverse of that, we've also seen financial crisis and credit crunch. We've seen continuous changes and adaptations to the hospitality and leisure sector in Scotland through legislative changes over the last 15 to 20 years. And then, we've had Brexit, uh, COVID, and many other crises to deal with. So it's certainly been an interesting nearly 20 years. But what the transactional side of life is significantly harder than it was when we started. The due diligence required to complete a transaction now is astronomical compared to what it was even in 2006 when I started.
It's very interesting. And for university students, how would transition into your type career look like from the university? Do they need to first apply for an internship, get an internship, and then get like fast track to the actual?
Um, Well, I'm very proud to be part of an organisation that is very supportive of young people. In fact, within my team, I have a girl who started off as an administrative assistant at the age of 16,
Hmm.
and she is going to be completing her RICS and degree hopefully by March of this year. We've just had one of my graduates go through their APC, and she came out of that in November last year. And I've currently got a student placement with me in
Mhm.
the team that we're employing until June time this year as part of her year out of university. So, those are great ways to get involved in it. Um, you need to have some understanding of property transactional market, some understanding of how these deals are put together. Um, our sector is incredibly niche. It's
Mhm.
high value. It's confidential. Clients don't like their businesses being disclosed as being up for sale, so you have to be very targeted in what you do. And it's a people business, so you have to be able to um, deal with all types of people from different industry levels of society. So one day we could be in a community wet-led pub, and the next minute we're talking to a 100-bed hotel owner. So it's very different. Every day is a challenge. To get into it, I think you just need to keep wanting to do it. You have to keep pressing to do it, and you have to show initiative in how you're going to get in your foot in the door.
That's very interesting. Thank you for the advice. And are there any books or podcasts you would recommend to our students, career and non-career related, that you found interesting or like inspirational or useful?
Um, I do enjoy Diary of the CEO, especially when I'm driving around the country. I think you have to, but it's like anything, you have to be careful of the source of this information. I
Hmm.
think some of his guests do speak as experts of their own experience, but perhaps not scientifically backed. And so you do have to be careful of any source of information. In terms of our sector, there isn't very much in the public domain about doing what we do.
Hmm.
So, there, but I think anything that shows initiative helps you understand the entrepreneurial mind, because my clients are all entrepreneurs of one way or another. They are business owners first and foremost. And so you have to have an understanding of the pains that they go through
Hmm.
to be able to teach them and help them.
That's a great advice. And what's your advice for students like struggling who are struggling with stress? Yes, how did you overcome these challenges when you were a student?
I think nowadays we, as a society, become much more tuned to dealing and living with stress. When I ran the business before I sold to GNS in 2014, I succumbed to depression and found that actually there's a lot of online resources nowadays in terms of techniques and ability to understand what is stress, what is and how to deal with it. Mindfulness and meditation and all those other things are very helpful tools. So I think the world is far better and more equipped with the tools to deal with stress, despite being a more stressful environment. But I
Mhm.
think most important is an ability to switch off. You've got to be able to have a hard skin, a thick skin, and turn around and say, yeah, okay, right now, I don't need to think about that. I need to think about myself, or go for a walk, or change the scenery, or do whatever you want to do to get you out of that mindset. The constant reflection on mindfulness, I think, actually is part of the problem as well. When you're busy, when you are working hard and or doing something that you enjoy, stress goes away. So find things to make you busy, find things to make you enjoy. Get don't dwell on it. The more you dwell on it, the harder it is to get away from it.
Thank you. It's a great advice. Thank you. And would you recommend your career for others?
Oh, absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
there's pressure, undoubtedly, um, difficulties in what we do. Can't please everybody in life, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoy my work. I have been doing it for nearly 20 years, and I'm still enthused. I still come in and I still work hard every day. So, I've done some awful jobs and jobs I wouldn't certainly want to have done for that period of time. So, yes, I would definitely recommend My World if you can get into it. Yeah,
Thank you. And the last question is, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I would talk to myself about the mindfulness techniques.
Mm.
Finding those things to switch off, finding that way to you are able to enjoy the pressure and the stress and thrive in it. That's probably what I would change. Can't butterfly effect. You can't go back and change everything in life, and why would you want to? You are where you are because of it, and I've got a wonderful family and a lovely kids, and I enjoy my life. So yeah, I'm happy.